when I was a kid, the Boy Scouts were used for two things. One, to teach young boys about how to respect not only the outdoors, but how to respect weapons, how to respect elders, how to help people. It was very much service-oriented. It was about serving others. It was about doing good in the community. The Boy Scouts now have been completely hijacked by liberals and those that are trying to redefine and change the Boy Scouts from what it was when I was young. And it's time for churches to say, you're not welcome here anymore. We're going to do our own thing, or we're going to do something different. The Boy Scouts first gave in to public pressure. And just so you know the history of this, when the Boy Scouts first allowed openly gay scout leaders, the reason why the Boy Scouts did is because there were many of their major donors, I'm talking about corporate donors, that were getting pressure, really being blackmailed by the gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual community, and to basically saying that if you don't force the Boy Scouts to allow gay members or gay leaders to be in charge of the Cub Scouts or the Boy Scout troops, or to be involved in the leadership, then we're going to attack your business as being anti-gay. So you had a lot of major corporations, Coca-Cola, Home Depot, others, that basically gave in to the pressure. And they said, okay, we don't want to be labeled by the LGBT community as being anti-gay because we support the Boy Scouts, which actually is a great mentoring program and helps tons of youth. It also has had a very big impact on filling the void, a massive void we have in society with single-parent households where fathers are no longer around. The Boy Scouts do incredible work. Now, I was a Cub Scout, again, got my Weeblo, and I was more into sports. I asked my parents if I could quit. They said yes. But the scout troop that I was in, was a scout troop that was based around the church, based around church leadership, based around young people in the church. I was in it because my friends were in it. I was in it because other kids and other fathers were involved in it. And it was very much a faith-based organization. The Boy Scouts have now just completely abandoned that. And their core base, which was churches, they've now basically said, we're not going to be about you anymore. And that's fine. The Boy Scouts, let me make this clear. The Boy Scouts have a right to become a liberal, crazy group. They absolutely have the right to become that group. They have every right to go out there and to be an LGBTQ group. They have every right if they want to do that, because but churches need to stand up, and conservatives need to stand up and say, we're not going to support you because you're not supporting the traditional family anymore. You're no longer about the mission, which was what the Boy Scouts was about, which was giving back and helping others. You're now about pushing a liberal agenda and ideology. Now, everything I just said, I think, was accurate before I'm about to tell you the headline of what the Boy Scouts have now decided to do. And again, I hope every one of you that's listening to me will share this information and share it with your church leadership and anywhere in the schools where your kids go if they have a Cub Scout or Boy Scout troop, because it's time to put an end to this insanity. The Boy Scouts have now said they are opening their membership to transgendered boys. In translation, what that means is if you're a girl and you want to be in the Boy Scouts, which is for boys, we will allow you to be in the Boy Scouts if you think you're a boy. The Boy Scouts of America says it will begin accepting memberships based on, quote, the child's gender identity, open the door for, quote, transgendered boys to join. Now, it's still a girl. Let's be clear about this. A girl can play dress up and be a boy. Her parents can give her a boy's name. The parents can say it's a boy. It's still a girl. Under the new policy, which takes effect immediately, so it's already taken effect, membership in Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts will be based on the gender indicated on an application, not based on the actual gender of the individual. Now, let me just say this for everybody that's listening right now so you understand. The Boy Scouts of America is attacking the American family and traditional family. That's what's happening here. Okay? They are attacking the traditional family. There is no other way to look at this but the fact that they are attacking the traditional family. When the Boy Scouts of America say they're going to begin accepting membership based on a child's gender identity, not based on what they actually are, it is time for conservatives to quietly and respectfully say we are no longer going to be a part of your group. Every church in America that believes in the Bible should respectfully, in a kind way, disagree with the Boy Scouts' decision and resign their charter. Shut it down. You can still have Boy Scouts. You can use a different name. There are other curriculums out there. I'm not saying that you end your program. I'm saying you no longer support a group that is attacking the traditional family and attacking the church and putting people in this position. And as conservatives, especially if you consider yourself to be a Christian, this is no longer an organization that supports the values that you believe in. And I shouldn't be afraid to say that. Let me also say this. The Boy Scouts have the right. I know I got to take a break. The Boy Scouts have the right to do this. I'm not saying they don't. Let me make that clear. The Boy Scouts have a right to say that they're changing who they are. But I don't have to sit around and advocate for it. I don't have to give my money to them. I don't have to accept it. I don't have to be a part of a group that is going down this road which disagrees with what my moral beliefs are. And we can do this in a polite and kind way. But the way that the Boy Scouts are literally going rogue, they're going rogue here. We shouldn't stand around and continue to allow it to be a part of our institution and of our church and of our groups and our schools. I want to get your phone calls. 1-800-474-9732. This is, in my opinion, not only promoting a terrible life, but promoting a form of child abuse to actually lie to your child and tell your child that they're a girl when they're a little boy. Or to tell a little girl that she's actually a little boy when she's actually a little girl. This, to me, is a form of child abuse. 1-800-474-9732. 1-800-474-9732. Hey, real quick, let me remind you about my good friends over at Patriot Mobile. If you've got a cell phone and it's with AT&T or Verizon, you may be shocked to know that AT&T and Verizon are actually giving more than $150 million combined to support liberal candidates, including Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, Barack Obama, and liberal groups like Planned Parenthood. They've even helped put the NRA on a hit list. I could no longer have my cell phone every month, my hard-earned dollars, going to a company that supports the exact opposite of what I stand for and believe in. That's why I switched to Patriot Mobile and why I want you to switch as well. Patriot Mobile is the only conservative cell phone company in the U.S., and what they do is amazing. One, they're going to lower your bill. Now, I'm about to give you a free iPhone or Samsung Galaxy phone if you make the switch. I'm also going to give you a free activation to make the switch, and I am going to give you something else you're going to love. Up to $500 per line, Patriot Mobile will pay up to $500 per line to get you out of your current contract. Now, the real reason why I support Patriot Mobile is this. Every month, every one of their members, 5% of their bill, they give back to conservative causes, candidates, and organizations that you choose from and you pick. You want your money to go to the NRA? You want your money to go to National Right to Life? You want your money to go to conservative colleges? You can do that with Patriot Mobile. Now, you're going to save money per month, too. $45 gets you an unlimited talk, text, and data plan at Patriot Mobile. $45 a month, unlimited talk, text, and data. Nationwide coverage. Call Patriot Mobile right now. You'll get a free cell phone, an iPhone, free Samsung phone. You get to keep your same cell phone number if you want to. Free activation with the promo code BEN. And up to $500 a line they'll pay to get you out of your contract. Their number, 1-800-A-PATRIOT. That's 1-800-A-PATRIOT. 1-800-A-PATRIOT or patriotmobile.com. That's patriotmobile.com. Coming up, your phone calls, 1-800-474-9732. Let's get you a quick check on traffic.
Chase Toyota Traffic Center.
Hey guys on Facebook, thank you for being with us this afternoon. And Diaz, if you can kill the audio, thank you there. Thank you guys on Facebook for being a part of our broadcast this afternoon. this is one of those moments where the Boy Scouts has changed what they believe in, and I don't have to be a part of the change. When you start being an activist group, where you start saying, if you're a little girl dressing up like a little boy, we'll let you in the Boy Scouts, this is no longer a group that any church, in my opinion, should be able to be a part of or affiliated with. Now, I want to make this clear. I respect the Boy Scouts of America's decision to do this. I understand why they did what they did with allowing openly gay scout leaders. They were pressured because the LGBT activist community does an amazing job of threatening people. The activist gay, lesbian, transgender community went out there and found every donor to Boy Scouts of America, corporate donor, and they said, if you don't make them change this rule, we will come boycott you and come after you and say that you're an anti-gay business. And immediately what happened? They folded. Immediately, the Boy Scouts of America said, we can't not have all this corporate money coming in from Coca-Cola and Home Depot and other businesses like that, so we'll change the rule to allow for openly gay men to be leaders in the Boy Scouts. This is just phase 2 of the blackmail. The LGBT community has gone to the Boy Scouts and said, if you don't allow transgendered girls, little girls whose parents, I believe it's a form of child abuse, tell them they can be whatever sex they want to be, when the reality is it's not how it works. And if you don't allow that girl to be in the Boy Scouts and be a boy because she says she's a boy, then we're going to say that you're anti-LGBT community and we will boycott you. And what did the Boy Scouts do? Immediately said, hey, well, you know what? We'll let them in because we'll take your money. We want every corporation to give us all their cash, and we don't care if we have to sell our souls to the LGBT activist community. I hope you guys will share this video on your timeline. I really do. I hope you'll share this video on your timeline because it's important. This is something that when we get to a point in America where when the name of your organization is Boy Scouts, and now we can't even defend the word boy. If an organization like this can't even defend the word boy and say, hey, we're the Boy Scouts. We're not the Girl Scouts. We're not the Transgender Scouts. We're not the Confused Parents Scouts of America. We're not you obviously need to go deal with some issues on your own. We are the Boy Scouts. We are Boy Scouts. We only accept boys. This should be very easy for them to defend. The Boy Scouts should have no problem saying, we're not going to give in to this pressure. We're not going to give in to it. I'll go to your phone calls. 1-800-474-9732. Here we go.
Now, back to Ben Ferguson on 600 WREC and 600WREC.com.
All right, welcome back. It is the Ben Ferguson Show. It's nice to have you with us this afternoon. Many of you are watching on Facebook Live, and I started this off by saying the same thing a moment ago. Enough is enough. When you are an organization and you have the word boy in it, and then you allow girls in your group because of political pressure from the LGBT activist community, that is when I say sayonara. That's when I say enough. I want to go to your phone calls, 1-800-474-9732. Let me go to Dave. Welcome, Dave. You're on the Ben Ferguson Show. You're up first. Go ahead.
Yeah, hey, Ben. This is Dave. How you doing tonight?
Doing well. Give me your take.
Good. I agree with you usually on your show, but I'm against you on this one. And I say that having been a Cub Scout, Weeblo, Boy Scout, all the way to Eagle Scout myself, for 3 reasons. One is I just don't think it's going to be that common of an issue. I mean, when you think about the number of transgender kids that are really going to be A, out there, and B, willing and wanting to join the Boy Scouts, I just don't think it's going to come up very often.
All right, let's debate that point. Let's debate that point first, okay? It doesn't matter to me if there's only 1 kid in America or 2 kids. It's the principle of the founding of the issue, of the fact that you have the Boy Scouts of America that are willing to take money from anybody and are willing to be blackmailed by anybody and loses their principles of an organization. They have lost their way as an organization because they care more about the money from corporate individuals than they do about actually standing up for what is right as a group. They have lost their soul as an organization that used to stand up for a certain set of values, and they've said everything that we believe in as a group, we are willing to throw out the window for a certain amount of money from corporate sponsors, and if people go after those sponsors and threaten them, and we think we might lose the money by standing up for what we believe in, we're willing to sell our souls to the money. That's the reason why it doesn't matter to me if there's one kid in America that does this or 50 kids or 500,000 kids. It's the principle of the fact that you have a group that is no longer the same group, Dave, that it was when you and I were in that organization. It has changed.
I'm not entirely sure that's true. I mean, you could say that.
Then give me an example, because we know from internal notes that were exposed about the Boy Scouts, Dave. Dave. We know from the internal notes that were given out that the only reason why the Boy Scouts of America gave in to have an openly gay leadership in the Boy Scouts is because they were afraid they were going to lose the corporate dollars of corporations like Home Depot and Coca-Cola, who were big donors, who were receiving pressure from activists in the LGBT community who said, if you don't allow openly gay scout leaders, we will come out and go against your business, saying that you are an anti-gay organization. You're an anti-gay business. You're an anti-gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual business. And the Boy Scouts of America made a financial decision that moment. They said, screw it. We'll let openly gay people be in charge of our scout troops because we don't want to lose the money.
Okay, but then here's my question. Is the experience of any given Boy Scout different fundamentally from what it was before, just because the overarching, the organization made that decision? Even if that was the rationale, which you're right, it probably was. But I submit that the values and the experience and what a kid gets out of being a Boy Scout is not all that much different today than what it was when I was in it or back when you were in it.
I think a lot of it depends on the local leadership of the scout troop or the pack. I think a lot of it does. But this is what I said earlier, Dave. There are other groups out there that do the same thing that the Boy Scouts do without compromising their values. And they may be not as strong financially, but if we all rally around them and we bring them in to replace the Boy Scouts, they will be the Boy Scouts in about a year or two.
No, Ben, come on. I mean, how long has the Boy Scouts been around? You don't just replace it overnight.
2 minutes.
Dave, if this is what's happened with our church leadership in this country has become so weak and so PC. If every church in America resigned their charter to the Boy Scouts tomorrow and they all decide they were going to go and pick up a new group or even start a new group, within a couple years, the Boy Scouts would virtually cease to exist from what they are, first off. And the second thing is you'd have another group that says we're not going to compromise that would be raised up instantly.
I don't see it that way, because I think part of the Boy Scout brand, and you can argue, we can debate whether or not it's changed, and you can argue maybe it has changed a little bit.
Dave, there's no debating that the Boy Scout brand has changed. The Boy Scouts of America that have the word boy in it are now allowing little girls who dress up like boys to be in the group. That is the definition of change.
Okay, in how many cases, though?
Dave, I could go round and round with you for hours. Dave, the fact that you're this is my point, Dave, that you're missing here. That you keep arguing that there's so few cases here that it's really not a big deal. You're making my argument for me about the how pathetic the Boy Scouts leadership of America has become. The Boy Scouts of America, I'll use your logic. Look, there's how often is this really going to happen? Then why did you give in this way if it's something that hardly ever happens? It's because as an organization, you have hoarded yourself out for money for the top leadership instead of doing the right thing.
Ben, you concede the Boy Scouts have the right to do this, and I concede that if you feel that morally opposed to it, you have the right to pull your kid out and go find another organization. That's fine. But in telling churches to go ahead and yank the charters, now you're yanking the rug out from every single kid, whether there's a transgender kid in there or not.
No,
you're taking that experience away from everybody.
No, I'm not. Not if we replace it with something else.
If churches yank the charter, you're betting on the come that something's going to be there.
Here's what I'll say. Doing the right thing, Dave, is in my opinion, is well worth it. if you're a church, if you're a church, look, morals are bigger than the Boy Scouts of America. Morals and ethics and character are bigger than the Boy Scouts of America. 535-9732, 535-9732. It's the Ben Ferguson Show. Much more coming up.
This report is brought.
Hey, you guys on Facebook, thank you so much for being with us. I hope you guys agree with me on this one. I want to get to your phone calls on this, 535-9732, 1-800, the 800 number for you guys all over the country, 1-800-474 9732. I hope you'll share this. I just think the Boy Scouts of America here are wrong. I think it's pretty sick they're doing this. I think it's pretty disgusting they're doing this. I think it's immoral what they're doing. And I think it's time for conservatives and Christians to go to their churches, to go to their schools and say it's time to resign the charter. If they're going to give in to something that's this small of an issue, and I'll use the last caller. He said, how many kids are actually going to do this? How many little girls are going to dress up like little boys and actually come in the Boy Scouts? The fact they gave in this quickly tells you just how off the path of what the Boy Scouts used to be, they've gone. So it is time for churches to resign their charter. It is time for schools to resign their charter. It is time for the Boy Scouts of America to lose the funding and the support of the actual people in their organization, instead of slamming down these activist ideas down the throats of a group. This is a group that's called the Boy Scouts. The Boy Scouts. They're letting girls in it now for political correct reasons. 1-800-474-9732. It's the Ben Ferguson Show. Much more on this. And again, I hope you'll share this video on your timeline.